are we going to do? How are we going to find a common ground, rallying the support of all relevant stakeholders? Don't forget, a tripartite committee has been set up that also includes the private sector. How would they find a common ground to arrive at an acceptable minimum wage that will not only create more problems of unpaid backlog of salaries and allowances? How would the states governments also negotiate with labor to make sure that even if the salary increment is sealed and delivered, it will not translate to more delayed payment of salaries or half salaries as it is being done in some states. We'll look at all this. We have right here with us, well, not in the studio, but joining us all the way from Abuja, Dr. Peter Ozo-Esan, the Secretary General of the Nigerian Labour Congress, NLC. We are glad to have you, sir. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning. All right, can you please tell us the situation of things? The presidency set up a tripartite committee, and you are all represented, talking about the labor unions, NLC, TUC, NECA, and of course the state governors and the federal government. What is the progress report?
Well, you are aware that the tripartite committee was inaugurated by Mr. President last year. After the inauguration in December, the first formal business meeting of the committee was held, and we considered a work plan and agreed that we must do everything to ensure that a new minimum was in place by the end of August this year. Thereafter, it was also agreed the types and numbers of subcommittees that would be formed in terms of the work. The consultants, various consultants would be required to undergo some studies, and the organizations and individuals that would be required to make input submissions. And then there was a couple of memoranda from the various constituencies. I think all those are all, a number of them have been received. A meeting is scheduled later this month. That's the next 2-day meeting to take a number of all these reports and commence work at subcommittee levels. So what is going on behind the scene?
All right. Now, sorry, we're looking at 56,000 naira minimum wage. How feasible is this? Looking at the situation in different states not being able to pay their, the workers' salaries, and even the economy not smiling at anyone at the moment. So, what do you think about the 56,000 naira minimum wage? How feasible is that?
Well, mention figures. I'm not sure that these figures that you mentioned are necessarily the figure that would be the minimum wage. We have made a demand. I just told you that memoranda were called for. We saw memoranda already to the tripartite committee, and the figure that we demand, but I don't want to discuss in public because it has to be on the table that we do that next year. But clearly, the issue of affordability is always one of the indices that would be considered in reaching what minimum wage to be set. But such arguments have to be evidence-based. It's not just to say, oh, because some state governments are owing salaries. It means that cannot be logic, because there are others who are not owing, and the private sector are also paying. So we need to take all these things in a comprehensive way. But in deciding, we need to also realize that you do not want to have a worker who earns a salary that is not enough to pay his transportation costs to work. That will not be employment. So all these must be taken into account in determining what is the appropriate amount that would come out as the minimum wage.
All right, Dr. Ozo-Esan, ever since this tripartite committee was inaugurated. How many times have you met and how many times have you discussed with the president?
That's what I told you first. That after the inaugural meeting, we have had one meeting. And the second meeting is later this month.
Okay, good. Now you have the Labor and Employment Minister, Senator Chris Ngige, who is optimistic that very soon we might have a negotiated minimum wage. Are you also that optimistic with the situation that my colleague mentioned earlier about states finding it very difficult to stand on their feet?
If states can stand on their feet, that's a matter of fiscal, the fiscal stability of the states, and that's a separate matter. If a state is not able, I think that we should find political solutions. Whether you want to have those states merge with those that are viable, that's the problem. But the issue of owing salaries arises largely out of mismanagement of resources at the state level. Governor is a part of the management of resources. If you order your priorities right, if you manage your resources well, then issues of not being able to meet your obligations would not then arise. That has to be separated from the issue of an appropriate level of minimum wage that will prevent a crowd of working poor. So I think that it needs to be separated and get states and governors to set their priorities right and manage their affairs properly. If they are unable or they are not viable, then there are political constitutional provisions that should then be explored in order to deal with that matter.
Good. You mentioned a very interesting point, which is political solution, which that may also mean constitutional amendment. And some have recommended merging of states, as you have also alluded to. But Nigerians are wondering, why exactly didn't Labour start this war on that front by making sure that the ongoing amendment exercise of the 1999 Constitution is tailor-made to suit this particular purpose and cause you are fighting for?
No, I think that we understand everything in the world is not labor. The primary responsibility of labor is to negotiate favorable terms with members. That's the primary. We are concerned with issues of governance, with issue of politics. That is why we have engaged, those issues. Such platforms have been provided. The Constitutional Conference, who made submissions, and constitutional amendments and all those, we have continued to engage in these processes. And I think we need to separate that from the internationally process of minimum wage setting. Because we're not just talking of Nigeria. Minimum wage setting convention of the ILO is a global framework, and Nigeria is a signatory to that. And so there are different levels of engagement. We engage at the political level, but that should not be confused with the process of the minimum wage and making demands for decent remuneration for members.
All right, if you are calling for a raise in the minimum wage, just a few days ago, about 6 days ago, we had the Kaduna State Governor, Malam Nasir El-Rufai, actually saying that the civil servants should be paid very low minimum wage. How do you react to that?
Well, I think Nigerians should start to pay attention to political leaders who talk, those who talk sense. When he said so, have Nigerians confronted him to ask him whether he takes a smaller remuneration than the Lagos State Governor? Does he not see him is he not claiming the same conditions as other governors are claiming? Is he not the Revenue Mobilization Assistant Commission? His own conditions. So when people like Rufai open their mouth, I don't take such people seriously because it's not making sense. They say those people come to equity must come with clean hands. If he wants to canvass that type of position, the starting point would be for him to say that Katsina cannot sustain the same compensation
but he's actually,
as Lagos.
Dr. Ozo-Esan.
Then take a lower, that would be the beginning.
All right, but he's looking at this from the angle that the trade unions have never served the country well from his own point of view, and that they've been selfish and everything is about their narrow interest.
Yeah, that is his view. He's entitled to his view, but it is completely uninformed. I think I would need to be more critical in even paying attention or devoting energy to analyzing, vituperation that come from such people like Rufai, because historically he's been like that. And it's not actually what he's saying is nonsensical. If he says that Lagos not led to development, he's not a historian. There are histories of the labor movement that are done and that are documented that have shown the contribution of labor to development. Even the anti-free fight when it's being done, and he's shooting his mouth all over the place.
Right,
please, I don't want to waste my time.
All right, now on the issue of, because you mentioned earlier that by August, you should ensure that the minimum wage takes effect. All right, this is March already, all right, and we have just about 5 months to August. Now, if the state government of different, the governments of different states come up and say no to this, what would you do? How would you respond to this?
Well, I don't think that this matter is a matter of whether state government. It's part of the misunderstanding that is out there. The minimum wage is not a public affair only. It is for the whole economy. So let's not continue to overemphasize the government. In any case, the governors are on the tripartite committee, representing each of the 6 geopolitical zones are on the tripartite committee. It's on that table that the arguments will be done. Governors cannot veto a national process to set a minimum wage. So we do not want to. But if any governors or any governor constitute themselves to obstruct that process, they also determine how to respond to that. Know that historically, since 1985, there has hardly been any minimum wage that was got that didn't involve either a strike or a threat of a general strike. So if they do, we also will our instruments.
All right. How are you bringing? How is the private sector going to, benefit from this minimum wage? Is there any way you're drafting the private sector into this?
The minimum wage is a law. Once it is set, it becomes a law, and it is applicable to all employers. It doesn't matter whether you are private sector or you are public sector. It's applicable to all employers into the categorization. The existing law now says every employer employs 50 or more workers is subject to the minimum wage. And that's why on the tripartite committee, the private sector is also well represented by NECA, by MAN, and FEMA. They are all part of the tripartite committee. And what will be agreed is not a minimum wage for state or federal, but a minimum wage for the whole economy, whether you are from private sector.
All right, Dr. Peter Ozo-Esan, I want you to quickly react to the arguments of some people. Chief among them is Professor Itsesage, one of the advisors to the president on anti-corruption, and the governor of Rivers State, Governor Nyesom Wike, who believe that the federal government should not be promulgating a law that will be binding on states as regards national minimum wage, that it should be determined by the state government. How would you react to this?
Well, to start, To start with, the Constitution is very clear as of today. The Constitution places the minimum wage in the exclusive legislative list. And therefore, it is the federal that promulgates the law on minimum wage. The argument is made by some of them that there should be a constitutional amendment that will allow states to legislate on their own minimum wages. We disagree with, and it's not that anywhere in the world. In every country, we have done a survey of federal systems in the world, and 99% of federal systems in the world all ensure that it is the federal government that passes the law. The exception, which is the USA, where the states can also legislate. They can only legislate what the federal has said. So a state can decide that the minimum wage of a state is too small and do something higher. They cannot do lower than. So the national minimum wage is to set that floor which will be applicable to every across the country. I think that the arguments being made for removing minimum wage from this list is misinformed, because if you do what you then create is segmented labor market, so that you find states competing with themselves with low minimum wages, and that will create chaos for the economy. It's the same logic that you find that you do not put income tax to be legislated on by different states. It's legislated on by the federal or collective plan, so that you don't create that type of situation that I just described.
All right, let us look at the disparity between the take-home pay of a federal worker or a federal civil servant and a state civil servant. They face the same economic responsibilities everywhere. They operate in the same country. They face similar problems, same inflation battling everyone. Why are they not? Why is labor not looking at this disparity as a means to actually nip it in the bud as you're fighting for this upper review of the national minimum wage?
No, I think we need to distinguish between the minimum wage and the structure in each state or in any sector. You have disparities between the federal government pay structure and state government structure. That's part of the argument we have always made, actually, that we should not confuse minimum wage with the general wage. The wage that at the state level should be the outcome of collective bargaining. That is not the legislation. And therefore, a federal has its own. If the state negotiates their own and they have their own salary structure, that is something that's okay, because you take into consideration various things when you agree your salary structure. Of course, the disparity should not be so severe that you now find that states paid very low wages in relation to the federal. But those areas are also managed through collective bargaining and not through legislation. If the governors and everybody see this clearly, then this clamor to move wages to concurrent list would not be coming. Because there is no law as of today that says that the federal will set the wage structure, and it is not even being done in practice.
All right, there is this ongoing debate as regards payment of teacher salaries at the local government level. The situation in many local governments across the 774 local governments of the country is appalling, and it's very clear for everyone to actually see. Now, people have said that the federal government should actually take over the payment of the salaries of local government teachers. The states are also saying, the local government teachers are saying, the local government teachers are saying that the federal government should take over the payment of the salaries instead of the state. What is your opinion about this?
Well, you see, currently, I think that the whole needs to be thought through properly. Local government, teachers, local government, the salary, the allocation from the federation account is what is supposed to be responsible in part for paying those salaries. I think that the argument being made is that instead of that money, going through the state, and the state not properly utilizing them, that it be put as it were on a first line charge.
Yes.
Those are the types of arguments I have heard. But to say that we, in a period in which people are canvassing for devolution of power, to say that we should take power and give back to the central, I don't think it will be politically sustainable going forward.
So when we are talking about devolution of power now to the state and local government, when we are talking about devolution of power from the
best practice today and the argument politically is for devolution
of power. Yes, that's what I'm saying.
That federal should take up what powers are currently in the local area, the reversal of that type of position. And I don't think that it will be politically sustainable.
But unfortunately,
it's management of the monies meant for teacher salary so that it goes directly into paying those salaries.
But unfortunately, even members of your union are the ones championing this cause at the local government level. Actually, and members of Norgay have said, are even canvassing that the president or the federal government takes over this responsibility. That is also concentrating too much.
What the Norgay is canvassing is for local government autonomy.
Well, when you place the two side by side, Dr. Peter Ozo-Esan, when you place the two side by side, local government autonomy on one hand, can the local government take care of their workers? Can they take care of these primary school teachers? And they are also on the other hand saying that the federal government should take care or make their salaries first line charge. Is that not contradictory?
No, I don't see the contradiction. It allow autonomy to local governments to manage its affairs, and there is in the sharing formula, what is due to local governments properly go to them. There are people who hold their governments accountable at that close level and ensure that those resources are adequately used. And if that were done, we will then have situations in which they are able to meet these obligations, and the development will be spread more across the country.
All right, Fernand, before we let you go, Dr. Peter Ozo-Esan, when exactly are you likely to meet once again to actually firm up these negotiations?
When we are likely to meet?
Yes. Is there any date in view? I'm talking about the tripartite committee now.
Yes.
When are you likely to meet to have?
So we have meetings set for this month. We have 2-day meetings already set for this month, and we will meet the third week or so. At least 25th and 26th, we are meeting. That meeting is already called.
Oh, all right. Thank you very much, Dr. Peter Ozo-Esan.
You're welcome.
Thank you for your time. Have a wonderful day. All right, you heard him. That's the Secretary General of the Nigeria Labour Congress, Dr. Peter Ozo-Esan. So many issues to look into, really. A lot of them are a bit constitutional. There is an amendment exercise going on as per the 1999 Constitution. Some of these issues are not yet taken care of. And some people believe that it is very, very sacrosanct that we increase or review upwardly now the national minimum wage. But at the same time, we must put in some legal frameworks or constitutional frameworks that will make that minimum wage binding on the state and local government so that we don't solve a problem and create multiple problems. Well, let us have your own take. What do you think? How can we arrive at a negotiated minimum wage that will be acceptable to all, that will be feasible, and also that will not create more problems? 0809-868-7344, 0909-146-9670 are the numbers to call. You can also reach us via the short code 32120. Our social media platforms are also available. All you have to do is to Reach out to us on Twitter at RockCityFM is our Twitter handle, and RockCityFM 11.9 is our fan page on Facebook.
Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Tobi. Good morning, my sister.
Good morning.
Yeah, my name is Honorable Lanre Jaji Larije. I'm calling from the People's Parliament in Abeokuta. I listened to our guest that spoke via the telephone this morning. But I also want to believe that it's quite unfortunate that we have, people like Rufai who is in government, trying to say that lower pay should be given to workers, and probably the union have not really done any good to this country. Unfortunately, if not for people like this governor, Sheomale, went into politics and became a governor, he was a vibrant labor leader, and he did his little that he could be able to do. Five about this, morning, whatever, they did their best. So I just want government to understand that if people are comfortable, it's not that other people are comfortable. You go to the workers, they are the ones that are the engine room of the economy of every government. So you have to be good to them, pay them very well, make them very well, make sure their comfort is your priority. Then on the minimum wage, I don't expect any state governor to say he can't pay the minimum wage. So far it has been agreed by the national. There are other people to talk. God bless you people over there. God bless Nigeria.
God bless you too. Thank you.
Hello. Hello. Hello.
Hello, Mr. Tobi.
Good morning.
Hello, Aghemerio.
Good morning.
Especially yesterday, on your news item, I had the Grand Secretary of Europe indicted police who declared from paying salary, pensions, and gratuity as a Jew, and advised them to make it spotlight shine. And he, as a governor of Yobe, is a good example. I'm starting from this viewpoint to attempt a clearing of the issue before any salary increase. This one aside, there is intractable problem of pension, which continues to fester. Areas from the past increases are there, 3% and other percentages and amortization. And whenever any increase in salary is envisaged, no serious thought is paid to the pensioners. The reason this problem continues, knowing full well that pensioners cannot invest in just action. Before this upward review this time round, let it be seen that other governors except Lagos pay off. That is when any increase can be reasonable and justifiable. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you.
Hello.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, my name is Shola Johnson. Yes, if we let the federal government fix the national minimum wage, then let state governments now come back to their state and negotiate with their own workers, because each state is variant. We have a variant sense in the state. Some states are buoyant, some are not buoyant. Those that are not buoyant know the economy of that state, and then they will be able to negotiate with their own workers, and then to be able to create appropriate things that is due to the workers, instead of lumping everything together, and then some states cannot pay. At the end of the government will be owing workers' salary. It's the best thing in this country. The states can negotiate their own salary also. Thank you. Good morning.
All right. Good morning. Hello. Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, ma.
Good morning.
My name is Tausa. They call for Lantana.
Okay.
How long? Ukraine. For how many years? You don't hear nothing for a good leader.
Hello. Okay, we're sorry. We have to.
Hello.
We have to call back. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Hello?
Yes, good morning.
Good morning, Aghemerio.
Good morning.
My name is Dr. Nkom. I'm calling from Ashero.
Thank you for calling.
When I hear this minimum wage, Tulenchi, all over, it's always very laughable to me. The problem with minimum wage is that we have only one source of income. You don't see affluent communities of minimum wage. We are talking of Donald Trump, fact someone. Let us go to Donald Trump's country. All the states in America have what they can hang on to. aircraft manufacturing, this arms, this thing, going to this nuclear site and all that. Each of those things, Apple computers, all that, each of those things can pay the whole country. Each of those companies in the state. So the issue, if he has so much money, we will talk of minimum wage. We will not be fighting for minimum wage to go after that workers, skilled workers. Nobody talks of that thing because it's a buoyant economy. They can produce. We are not producing anything. Let Ogun State start producing tires only, selling tires for cars, and it's buoyant, and you can send it to China. You will be talking of minimum wage in Ogun State. So all what they're talking is sterile arguments until because the source is limited. If you have limited source and each state can stand on its own, Rivers State said, I have oil, I can use my oil. They can give me any minimum wage they want and nobody will talk about it. If you don't like it, go and work in Rivers State. If you like it, go to Zamfara and work there. That is what is happening. These are sterile discussions. We lead us nowhere. The issue is not that it's because you have only one story, but everybody goes to Abuja. But yeah, give me money, give me money. Yeah, there's that in my face, give me money. There's children at my face, give me money. If each state could stand alone, we will be discussing this one. So we should put emphasis on how do we grow this economy so that we can have enough money so that we don't discuss minimum wage again. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you very much, Dr. Ancom, for your contribution. We'll have to go to break now for the national news at 10. After the national news, we'll come back and continue with your contributions. Keep sending your messages to 32120. Type rock, leave a space, type your message, include your name, and send to 32120. You can also tweet at Rock City FM is our Twitter handle. Stay with us, we'll be back. Daybreak Show on Rock City 101.9 FM. Right now, it's time for citizens. Just like I mentioned earlier, we'll be looking at the upward review of the national minimum wage. But for now, the clamor has been that we need to look at the present economic reality and begin to match that up with the take-home pay of an average Nigerian worker. The NLC is proposing, and of course other labor unions are proposing 56,000 naira minimum wage to the presidency or to the federal government and the state. 3 tiers of government are going to be responsible for the payment of worker salaries and other emoluments, which of course will be affected by this upward review of the national minimum wage. The president himself has admitted that the 18,000 minimum wage has expired, talking about the standard of living, the cost of goods and services, prices of commodities, and how a Nigerian worker would be expected to survive with 18,000 naira. But of course, the federal government and the states have never for once shied away from telling us that it is a burden, talking about the wage bill in their respective tier of government, most especially the state governors who are battling it out in their states. Some are owing 10 months salaries, some are owing pensions, some are owing gratuities, some are owing corporate deductions, name it. Very, very few states are actually not owing Nigerian workers. As the last,
I can assure you that Nigeria's got a great one, so clean and clear, and there is a place we're all going to, a secure place, no doubt. It's still the Direction Rock City 101.9 FM, and this is the Citizens Forum segment of the Daybreak Show, the very last one. And we have been talking about the upward review of the workers' salary, and that's the minimum wage. And we had on the phone Dr. Ozo-Esan, who actually took us on this. And after the national news, which we went on a break for, we will continue with calls and then messages. Your view is definitely appreciated, and we'll be leaving the lines open again for you to call in, and of course the short code message platform is also available. The Twitter is also there for you to make use of. The studio lines are 0809-868-7344 or 0909-146-9670 for the Twitter handle. You can tweet at Rock City FM, and the Facebook fan page is Rock City 11.9 FM. For the short kill, type rock, leave a space. Let's have your take, include a name, send it to 32120. When you're calling in, please just switch off your radio set. Remember, you have 2 minutes for the submission, and whatever you cannot defend or you cannot, that are not cannot be substantiated with facts, do not even say it. All right, thank you. Hello.
Hello, good morning, Aghemerio.
Good morning.
Mr. Tobi, good morning.
Thank you.
My name is Big Daddy.
All right.
Yeah, I heard all what the man said. It is well. Let me take you to Ghana. Ghana daily crisis should be beyond. Everybody was happy. The total of suffering is on more than 300-400. Labor is there, put a promise a lot of things they would do. They could have fight for something to come down. They are not looking for that money, 54,000. Before you know it, it will affect the that in this fuel now is going to go up to 300 naira. There's no doubt about it. That is thing that they're supposed to fight. But like they said it before he's dead, that's the word that he told the labor last time. But nobody listened to that. Immediately they increased it, everything increased. So they should go for that, work of that high as that. Like Erufai said, they shouldn't look it for more high, but I don't know what it means. But I think of something else. Let it be something that's not going to get approved. For them to give them money, call it, but what they will call money, what else is paper. May God help Nigeria.
All right.
Have a nice day.
And you too. At all levels, nowhere in the world are workers' salaries stagnant. As long as the economy remains dollarized, we will still remain in the same vicious hole of cycle of workers' agitation. All right. And we got this one from Dolani Roberts. It says you can't be a millionaire with a minimum wage mindset. And still from Dolani Roberts, the minimum wage in America is 22 times greater than Nigeria's, yet the citizens are seeking for increment. But lawmakers in Nigeria are earning more than the US president. Absurdity has no better definition. Dolani Roberts sends this tweet, or tweeted again, solutions: if you make minimum wage live, minimum wage live, if you make middle class middle, okay, if you make minimum wage, leave a minimum wage life. If you make middle class money, leave a middle class life. If you make high dollar money, live a high dollar life. Never live above your means, but always strive to live better and be happy. All right, another tweet from Tunde Kafidipe. Unless periodic evaluations are made to reflect economic realities from time to time, the issue will always remain unsolved. God help us all. Okay, this came from Bankole Olubayo. Sam, can merging the state work while many are requesting for more state? Okay, and then we got this one from Agbe Fagbemi. 18,000 naira as of today. Okay, paying house rent and children's school fees and feeding families. Our government need to rise and do the needful now. It's becoming shameful when some state still owe their state or their their workers, despite okay, I need to take that message again. Abi Fagbemi says it's becoming shameful when some states still owe their workers' salaries, pension, and gratuity despite the 18,000 minimum wage. And we got this one from Professor Agbola AAA. What I need is the intrinsic value of our money and not increments without value. 1,500 naira in 1980 is worthier than 1 million naira now. Oh, really? Surakat Abiodun tweeted, before people talk about state not being able to pay, they should first find out how much a state legislature earn in a month. If there is devolution of power and sincerity of purpose, no state should pay less than what federal government set as new minimum wage they can only pay now. All right, and then Ade Fowora Adesanwo tweeted, absolutely, my take is yes, security is key in a society. I guess that's from the quick takes. All right, and then this says From Surakat Abiodun, new minimum wage is long overdue in this country and government should ensure the needful is done. If our senator could pocket a whopping sum of over 14 million naira monthly for singing or dancing on the floor of the assembly, then I see no reason why dedicated workers should not be paid more. And this came from Bankole Ulubayo Sam. About 700 Canadian doctors protesting being overpaid by the authority. Why we are creating tripartite discussions to agree on 56,000 naira, and El Rufai tongue lashing the NLC to Peter that some governors, after series of bailout, Governor Gaidam is right with his indictment. All right, those are the tweets we got here. We'll go back and pick some more calls, and then we'll check a short code messages. 0809-868-7344 or 0909-146-9670 are the studio lines. You can still tweet at Rock City FM or the Facebook fan page Rock City 11.9 FM. Hello. Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, good morning.
My name is Abdul Gafar.
All right, Abdul Gafar, thank you for calling.
Yes, the effort of people in Nigeria cannot be taken away. But I know that when they are clamoring for decreasing wages, they must face the reality. But that does not mean government of the state does not have the capacity to increase the wages. 18,000 naira minimum wage is too low. They need to increase the something for them. That's just it. We know how the economy of the country is. And no governor should not be able to pay workers. I don't know. I'm still saying it. I don't know. No governor should not be able to pay his workers. Just an act of wickedness. And your saying labor are not fighting. They will come out. Ambali is still there in Ogun State. Was sacked. So what are the people saying? And they will still say they cannot do anything. When they stand on their foot, this governor will pressurize them because they have everything in power. You see, they want to does not have the corresponding power. What are you talking about? Let them be taken good care of. You say they are not fighting. They know themselves. They are the ones that spoil them. They spoil them. What are you talking about? I am not still blaming them. The reality is that they should increase the wages. And the way labor also displays reality. When they are sitting, they should talk with peaceful mind and honest mind. Not to be doing like this. Good morning.
All right, thank you. Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, good morning.
I am Tobi. Good morning.
Yes, I'm with you.
Bayomi is my name. I'm calling from Abel.
All right, Abayami, thank you for calling.
It came the present situation we are in this country. Our labor leaders are still clamoring for increments in wages. When you release this funds into the economy, where are the things that if so much money will run after? Inflation will continue to rise. Secondly, our senators, our governors, whenever they go into those sessions in their different chambers, they discuss how to increase that. While we are discussing how to increase public servants' pay now, market women, landlords, everybody, they will be waiting for that implement. Immediately that implement comes in, every prices will skyrocket, will go to high places. But why these people collecting 13 million naira, 28 million naira per month, when they increase theirs, nobody gets to know. Our labor leaders look for a way to bridge the gap between the rich and the poor, not to release more funds into the economy to take very difficult. Good morning.
All right, thank you. Good morning. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, good morning. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, I'm with you.
Yes, I think there is need for increase in the minimum wage. Look around nowadays. Ogun State has a study case now. When you look at it, you see, the governor has been saying there has been improvement in the present generation in this state. When he came, it was 18,000. And now, there is need for improvement. They need to increase the salary. That is my thinking. Because when we look at what was happening some 3-4 years back,
You realize the price of fuel, also the same thing. The government cannot even subsidize health services, education. They are not doing anything. And not only that, you just realize they are making their own money, but they are not ready to give out to these people that are actually working for the money. So the governor even said it before he came into office in 2011. He said it is only the Mechi in his office that was earning 20,000. Governor Motu said it. But now, they do not even jack up the salary they make on ground. But it's too bad. That is still a look at it. There is need for a jack up in the salaries of these people so that they will be the gratuity will not come at the right time and all those things involved. So it's better. They should do something to change the reality of this present time. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Hello.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, my name is Sam from Agadu. You see, I will tell you the reason why Hello.
Hello, we can hear you.
I will tell you the reason why the government of the state that running at the financial collapse with 50 trillion internal deficit are not able to pay the salary. One, they are giving one out of $60 billion by America for the city.
Hello. Oh, we eventually lost that call. Please, you can.
Please, can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Yes. My name is Pastor Shola Makin. I'm calling from Uwu Kingdom, Okarago, Abeokuta.
Thank you for calling, Pastor.
Please allow me to share my thoughts on the honor issue this morning. As a matter of fact, I've listened to the man that you brought us this morning and he did very well. Now, what I believe that makes sense is not the headless minimum wage cash money workers are looking for, but what I will call work-life balance. What is the meaning of this? That is to say, affordable housing, constant electricity, portable water, food in abundance, and quality and free education for all our children from primary to tertiary levels, and not this endless asking for money, asking for increase all the time. Thanks so very much. God bless Rock City and God bless Nigeria.
God bless you too. Thank you.
Hello.
Yes, good morning.
So secondly, the people in charge of legal tender have been associated with the poultry world. And now
Hello, you called earlier. You cannot call twice. Sorry.
I'm not finished. Within a 30 seconds, I was cut off.
Nobody cut you off. Maybe it.
Network fault.
Okay.
Network fault. So
yes, 30 seconds.
Legal tender authority has become a punishment authority through the interest of the poultry world. And the second factor on they are unable to pay the salary. But I have the leadership right to challenge any legal tender authority that turns the legal tender to punishment for our region. But that is why the second show cannot be overlooked. God bless Nigeria.
God bless you too. Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, good morning.
Hello, good morning, Rock City.
Good morning.
I'm here from Oaikhenan.
All right, thank you.
Well, sometimes just to remind it all that our political leaders there to take and publish what is 18,000 naira for Go City all this year. When they are taking all this, all that, how can they become pay for salary when they have their own? Government find something because it's not even relevant. That labor leaders they are not performing. So is that unrelevant? The only the labor leaders have. I think every worker has to benefit from the increase. What is he saying? It's wickedness. It's wickedness. How you told their mind? My friend Dr. Income that is saying for increment. Maybe God is not a civil servant. 18,000 naira for this donkey years. Everything is increased. What do we help us?
All right, thank you.
Fine, thank you.
Thank you.
I am Moses from my issue.
Thank you for calling.
Actually, workers need a very much increase in their wages. It's not overdue. You see, according to the policy that established this, workers' salary wages supposed to be every 5 years. Now, if a state is not paying, that state of taking support, I will still continue to make it. Because what they are earning, what they are receiving from the government, federal government, and what they are generating is enough to pay workers. Some of them are just limited. And Nigerian workers receive more than what they are giving them is not enough. They want them to live a minimum life. Everybody will not be able to use houses, they will not be able to buy cars unless they go into cooperative, which is giving and water. Nigerian workers need a living wage, where not a minimum wage only. Living one. So I think our government should be responsible to the yearnings of workers. And whoever is not paying is a dead government, according to our governor in the state. God bless you, God bless you.
All right, thank you. Let's take one call and then we'll check the messages and tweets. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, good morning. Tweets now. This particular message says President Donald Trump. Okay, this has nothing to do with what we're discussing. Ikechukwu Olisa is saying this. It is unfortunate that Labour is no longer what they used to be in the past because the leadership have been hijacked by corrupt leaders. So what do you expect to happen in such an organization? As for me, Labour is dead because the leaders also benefit from the corruption going on in the land. Take it or you throw it away. Until we identify where we are coming from, we cannot know where we are going. To increase minimum wage is not the best for Nigeria now. It will just increase Nigeria's problems. Let us think and find solutions to our unstable economy to the extent that a family of 6 will not spend more than 3,000 naira to run their house in a month. Abiodun from Abiokota sent in that. Ikechukwu Lisa once again, the issue of new minimum wage is just like where the noisemakers is talking to the deaf. So the workers need to think twice because the season we are is a season of promises ahead of 2019. The only solution is to vote out those governors that cannot pay worker salary rather than hoping for a new minimum wage that can never come to pass. Alright, Ikechukwu is not that optimistic. Desoji tweeted this. Good morning. I support increment in minimum wage, but there should be a spelled out percentage of what each state can pay as salaries from the total revenue of the state. This is to allow a balance between social contract and salary payment. Yemi Da Vinci says, in my opinion, what the Labour needs to fight for is a change in the constitution that will make a president, governor, take home, including allowances, not to be more than a permanent secretary, and legislators being paid at maximum of a director level. Juxtapose the 13.5 million naira running cost of each senator, noting that this doesn't include the salaries and other allowances. Add that of 360 rep members with minimum wage, and you see that Nigeria has an unjust and unjustifiable wage system. There definitely is a need for salary increase. There has been a need since 2016 January, in my estimation. But why is the Buhari administration doing this at the twilight of its administration? Is it to assuage people to vote it again? Tonatsin tweeted this. For government to reduce corruption to its barest minimum, the minimum wage should match the standard of living in the country's respective component states. E.g., how can 18,000 minimum wage sustain a civil servant, resident and working in FCT Abuja? Upward review is long overdue, please. Surakat Abiodun tweeted this. Mr. Tobi, please let us start the argument here. How much does a state legislator earn in a month? Then, with that, we should be able to conclude whether the state can pay minimum wage or not. Oluwashim says if 109 senators could be taking home at least 18 billion naira annually, then the solution is that the Labour should devise an approach to fight them. Adefora Adesanwo says the Labour should be paid with dollars. Naira is always reduced to paper by the time an increase is made. Okay, what 125 naira could buy. Okay, we got a message. Adefora Adesanwo, thank you for your tweets. Keep tweeting at Rock City FM, and of course your Facebook comments can be dropped on our fan page, Rock City 101.9 FM. At Rock City FM is the Twitter handle. This comment was posted by Olamileko Boss. Good morning. In my own view, I think the minimum wage is going to benefit the workers. The question is, can this work without unpaid salaries? I think they needed to do the right thing. Lawmakers earn millions while workers earn 18,000 as minimum wage. I think they deserve more. Alright, so we'll go back to the calls. 0809-868-7344 and 0909-146-9670.
I'm calling from Ijako. And first and foremost, I want to thank Dr. Onko for protecting some of your callers this morning on the short break that said the Inspector General Police is the Fulani man. Indeed, it's a no-pay man. And please also take note, they're going to the same issue of this labor minimum wage or what have you. Hello?
Yes, go ahead.
The question of ground is that 18,000 is long overdue for increment. But the reality is that who is going to pay it? You see, there is a situation whereby legislators in the country are taking humongous sum of money. And I've said this thing before, that laborers, they went to sleep. Because we go to the National Assembly, the civil servants belong to either NLC. And they could not know when these people started giving themselves 13.5 million a month. And even when they knew, they did not do anything. So I don't know how these people will continue to get that kind of money, and there will be development that will never be. And secondly, you look at the state-by-state analysis that are not equal. And before you can even increase it now, we need a political solution. One, we have to reduce the working day to 3 in a week. It's already been done in Imo State by Okorocha. If we reduce it, that will save cost of living by workers. Don't come up for 3 days. Use the other day, 2 days to do things for yourself. The third solution is let us back these states. The state we have now, they are not viable. And that's the reality. To continue to run the state system we have with the expenditure profile and the template, there will never be time we can pay any worker living wage in this country. That is just my candid opinion. And the labor, the final recommendation is that they should gather all of them, ASU, NLC, TUC, they should give the National Assembly automated 21 day automated to reduce their salary to nothing more than that of PAMSEC and allowances. Anything short of that is to go and occupy that. They have the mic, they have the number, but everybody is staying in their own comfort zone. They continue to cry. The professor is getting less than 450,000 a month. Why the job maker is getting 30.5? Why the justice? Good morning.
All right, thank you for your contribution. We can still squeeze in maybe 2.
Thank you. Hello? Hello? Yes, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Hello? Hello, Toby, do we have any more message there?
Okay, let's just take this one. Says Shobade Lukman. Says, good morning. Concerning the issue called on the show. The show starts as early as 7 a.m. all the way to 11. We appreciate every one of you this morning for joining us, those who just listened, and those who called, those who sent messages, and those who tweeted. We appreciate you for your contributions. I am Toby Joseph. Thank you for joining us.
I am Aghemerio Oaikhenan.